Hey guys, it's Stephen here. Manchester City have just drawn Swansea away in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We've avoided Manchester United. It's a pretty favourable draw, if we're being totally honest. And my first thought when I saw that draw was Wilfred Boney. And then I realised he's not there anymore. Gutted. I'd love to see City against Boney once again, though he probably would have scored. Though it is the Bersant Celina derby, which we'll get onto in a bit. Before I do that, though, I want to give a shout out to some of the newest Patreons. There's 5 of you guys who've been supporting me. Ryan Yates, Thomas Harrison, Krim Steinveld, Max and James Nicol. Guys, thank you very much for your support. These have joined my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany. There's 2 tiers there. The $3 tier, which gets you a shout out in the video and the credits, and the $10 tier, where you can get questions answered in a Q&A and all that kind of stuff. And you get invited to the Discord group where you get involved in like an exclusive Man City fan chat with myself there included. If you want to get involved, patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany. If not, carry on watching and life is good. But anyway, let's go on to this draw. Yep, we've got another favourable draw. Do you remember we used to get loads of difficult draws? Those days seem to have gone away from us now. We've actually avoided maybe pretty much every team that I wanted to avoid in that draw, if we're being totally honest. Now, Watford and Crystal Palace means a Premier League team is going to go out there. I was worried that we might get Palace away, and I wouldn't enjoy that at all. So Watford and Palace are good teams going out of that. And then United got Wolves away, which isn't an easy game at all. Wolves are a good little team. They've got nothing to lose, and they may think, you know what, an FA Cup final is within our grasp here, given the fact that they're likely to stay up in the Premier League. So they might go for that. And then we've got Millwall and versus Brighton, which is a very minging game, a kind of game no one wants either. So essentially, that's a pretty good draw. Now, what do we know about Swansea in general? I'm not going to pretend I watch them every single week, because I just don't watch the Championship every single week. But they seem to me to be the kind of team, when you look at the results, that can go to be brilliant one day, then poor the next. Like, for example, they beat Brentford 4-1 to get here in the 5th round. Then they beat Millwall 1-0 recently. They lost to Bristol, lost to Leeds, drew to Birmingham, then they battered Gillingham in the FA Cup, beat Sheffield United. Essentially, they're very up and down with their form. They currently sit in 13th place in the Championship. They're 9 points off the playoffs. Now, in general, this is a team that can kind of be very, very hit and miss, for what I can gather online. They do obviously have Bersant Celina, and Bersant Celina is a kind of player that you've got to be careful with. He's a very skillful player, very technically gifted player. Possibly the most technically gifted player in that team, and he's the kind of guy who can score a goal from 20 yards very comfortably if we give him the space. And obviously he'll be highly motivated to play against Manchester City Football Club for very obvious reasons. In general, he scores some wonder goals for them, and he scored plenty since he joined there. So he's one to keep an eye on. We all saw as well on social media the lightning boy Daniel James scored a wonderful goal the other day where he burnt past the whole of I think it was Brentford's team, absolutely lightning quick, and ran about 8 yards and put it in. So he's got pace to burn. Then they've got the likes of McBurney and Ferd, Nathan Dyer and Kyle Norton. They've got some good players that a lot of us know, basically. I don't know how well they're all playing this season, but they have got a team that you have to take relatively seriously. Having said that, this is a Manchester City these days that is relatively reliable in these kind of games. And this was under Mancini and Pellegrini. I would genuinely be worried that we'd go there and actually lose these games, because it's the kind of game that we used to lose. And I feel like Pep, after the Wigan game last season, has taken a really real serious lesson and thought, I'm going to focus on these games and I'm going to pick strong teams because I want to win these competitions. Don't forget, Pep has never won the FA Cup either. And Pep is quite a nostalgic, quite an emotional person. And I think you'll see the FA Cup, that historic competition that pretty much everyone in the world is familiar with, and think, I want to win that. I want to get to Wembley. And now with this draw essentially opening up a little bit there, Wolves could be United, Watford, Crystal Palace. Hopefully Crystal Palace will go out there, because I don't like playing them. It looks very likely, I hope we get to Wembley, at least for the semi-finals, of course. It looks very likely that we could go to another final with a little bit of luck there. I wouldn't like to play United in the final, personally. I'd rather get that out of the way, because I think United will go up a level. Solskjaer will get him really pumped up for that. I would much rather play him in the semis, weirdly, but, either way, we've avoided them now. But it's a pretty solid draw. I genuinely can't complain with that. As I said, every other team was one I'd rather have not played, if we're being totally honest. I mean, United wanted to play to get out of the way, but if not them, Wolves I'd not want to play. Watford, Palace, no, definitely not, because they're obviously high-level teams. And then Millwall, Mingin and Brighton, once again, I think they're a better team than Swansea. So this is a good draw for us. It shows that City now basically have a very favourable draw in all the cup competitions. Obviously, we've got the Carabao Cup finals, we've gone there, but don't forget the Champions League game, which we play on Wednesday, and I'll be doing a preview of that tomorrow, so don't forget, if you're new to the channel, subscribe so you get to see the preview tomorrow. We've got Schalke there, and the Schalke are a team that are really, really poor at the moment, genuinely very poor. So once again, if we play anywhere near our potential in that game, we should be, once again, into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And we should win this one, and we should get through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and all of a sudden, everything looks quite promising. And given the fact that we're currently very, very close to Liverpool as well, life is really good, isn't it? It's very, very good. We're taking all the games seriously. We've got a big, full squad so we can rotate heavily. I do suspect against Swansea as well, we'll see a very kind of rotated team. Quite similar to what we saw against Newport, I would guess, in terms of likes of Foden. I think Wood still will come in. I think we'll see like Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus, that kind of people. The only thing I'm not sure yet is when it actually is going to be played. Let me just double check that now. Hang on. The quarterfinal games will be played between the 15th and 18th of March. So let me get the fixtures up around that game. Man City fixtures, 1 second. So around that we've got Schalke's second leg. So fingers crossed. If we play really well, fingers crossed, I'm not sure it's happening, but if we get a miracle, we could like close that game off pretty early. Then we've got currently got United scheduled there, so I think that'll be rescheduled based off that, which means United game will be rescheduled towards the end of the season, which is quite scary given that could be a huge game. So yeah, essentially we've got Watford the week before, Schalke, and then currently the United derby is scheduled there, so that will obviously have to move now, given the fact United and City are both involved. So it's a decent little run of games. Then we've got obviously a bit of an international break, I think, by the looks of it, before Fulham game 2 weeks later. So we'll basically be able to play a full team and go for it, given we've got no game immediately after that. So what do you make of that draw, guys? I kind of did want United soon at home to get out of the way, because then I would have felt confident that we're going to win the thing, win the trophy. But I can still take that. It's a good solid draw. Let me know what you make of it in the comments below. And as ever, thank you to all these people scrolling down the side of the screen here, whichever side it is. I always get it wrong. These are all absolute stars. Patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany if you want to get involved. If you don't, just carry on watching these videos. Let me know what you thought of the draw. Don't forget, if you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I've been Stephen. In a bit.